Did you know that the very first rail trail in the United States is right here in central Pennsylvania? On this segment of Get Out on the Greenway, we're heading to the J. Manly Robbins Trail, just outside the Susquehanna Greenway river town of Danville, to learn all about this history and how the trail came to be.
We had foundries in Danville originally, and when they weren't working, they were looking for something to do. So they heard about this craze that was going on more in London really than anywhere else, and they were called bone shaker bicycles. They had metal wheels and they had a metal frame and it was steel, so that they're called bone shakers because you can imagine what that would be like to ride with no rubber tires and just metal on metal. So these guys thought that was pretty cool. They ordered these bikes from London and they came over to Danville, and when they got here they started riding them around and parading around on Mill Street. And as soon as they did, people thought, well, those look dangerous, so we should outlaw them. So they made an ordinance in Danville that outlawed them right away. So what happened was, after they had their problems with town and they couldn't ride around on Mill Street, and I believe that ordinance is still in effect. I don't think it was ever relieved. So if you ride on Mill Street, you can feel like an outlaw, like from the 1800s. So I often do that, by the way. They decided they had this trail here. This is the Robbins Trail. It's a narrow gauge trail, and it was built because Bald Top offered a lot of wood. They would drop the trees on Bald Top over here, and that wood would come back down. They drag it down to the bottom of the hill. They could go a little further out the line and they could get ore, and they could bring that all to the foundry. But it was kind of running out of trees and running out of ore, so they thought, well, we're going to get rid of that line anyway. Why don't we make our own little private bike club? And they went to the people that were enthusiastic about bicycling, and you could get these badges and you could wear them on yourself with your bike, and they knew that you were a paying member of this bicycle club, because if you weren't going to be allowed to ride in town, we were going to snub our nose and ride on our own little private trail. We started looking at other trails around the country and when they might have been put together and how they were put together. And this one predates any other purpose-built rail trail by 35 years minimally. We checked globally, and it turns out this thing predates any by a pretty good distance. So they were pretty forward-thinking at that point. Like, let's see if people will enjoy a purpose-built place to stroll and ride your bike and get out away from town a little bit, kind of reconnect with nature a little bit. So those guys were ahead of their time. So we owe them a little bit of thanks for their vision.
So there you have it, a trail with a rich history and a great opportunity to get out on the Greenway. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.